Alright guys, Corey here from Free Play Arcade. We are at the premier event center for the American Amusement Auction here in Lewisville, Texas. I'm going to start off with a quick walkthrough. It's a weird selection today, but maybe y'all find that interesting, hopefully. First up though, this Tron, already a free play game. We had bought it a couple weeks ago, had it dropped off here, which is always nice to coordinate with some of the sellers. A little rough around the edges, but honestly, it's got a burn-free, minty monitor, real game board, real MCR that's working great, so give us a few days and this thing will look as good as new. No, we don't really like as good as new, but it'll play as good as new. All right, and then we're gonna walk way down here. We'll walk, looks like a Space Invaders or something. Air hockey, which is one of my personal passions, but something we never put out, and these look a little rough. A Hoop Fever, one of the Hoop It Up varieties from Ice. A lot of people want us to get basketball, but I worry about the balls rolling around just as free play time. Then we've got, two more air hockeys. The full-size Dynamos look nice, and then the end of a skee ball called Skedaddle from Skee Ball, I guess one of the junior versions. All right, and then let's start here. We've got a Soul Edge, kind of rough Konami cap, it looks like, yeah. MK4. T2 Judgment Day, one of our favorites. Value on that's been going pretty crazy lately. Totally busted sharpshooter. Couple Space Invaders looks. I mean, you can tell if you look down here, that cab is rough. A dedicated Area 51 that's been painted over, maybe brought back. Strikers in a kind of interesting cabinet, not working. Invasion the Abductors in a, what is that? Police Trainer? Maybe. Or a Lethal Enforcers 1. Die Hard in a generic kind of Dynamo. Lost World. You always see this right here, these broken marquees, because they'll just nick the top of the door when you're walking them out and they'll break like that. I think a complete one that's still whole is probably worth a lot of money. We do love these cabinets. It would be nice if it was working. And I actually love Lost World. We have the full-size Jeep version that we're gonna try to get back out. It used to be at Free Play Arlington. Random gun game. A cruisin' with a computer monitor. A rebuilt Trizac, I don't know. Time Crisis 2. This looks cool. We actually have a couple of these in the collection we've never put out. Just because Time Crisis 3 was so popular that it's a little bit easier to support. Very cool Virtua Fighter 2. Kind of haggard, kind of rough looking, but Virtua Fighter is one of my favorite games. It's super simple, single punch, single kick with a single block button. Which I think makes it really approachable for your casual audience. Plus, I actually think it's a lot of fun. Lethal Enforcers in a weird non-dedicated cabinet. Oh my goodness, that's a Super Mario Brothers flashing back there, but is it real, is it emulated? I don't know. It's not the right cabinet, obviously. Gauntlet Legends with the right joysticks though. These are those 49 ways, very cool, very awesome. You know, one of the pub darts releases. You know, these used to be in every auction. There used to be like 10 of them and they'd sell in the thousands of dollars, but the manufacturers have dropped the price down and they work so much better when they're new than when they've been out on the floor that they've kind of disappeared from the auction because they don't sell for very much anymore. Conversion Area 51, kind of interesting. It's got like a almost full kit. What's really funny though is you can see here where the artwork would have normally turned on the real cabinet. Kind of neat. Is this a grid? Yeah, this is a grid converted to a Site 4. Pretty, I've never seen a conversion quite like that. One of these video redemption games that was supposed to be like an arcade crossover / ticket game. We actually have one if you look in our ARC walkthrough. It's terrible, but they have real components. T2 Judgment Day that looks to be working. Let's see if we can, is it locked? It is locked with a key I don't have on me. Monitor's pretty haggard. One of the things you really want to check here is you can feel one of the triggers is fully released. So you know the gun components are a little off because this is how it should look. And then you want to test kind of force feedback because there's a bunch of different boards in there that control the controls. But it is working, so far this might be the star of the show that we've seen. Maybe that Virtua Fighter 2. Another pub darts type style. Looks cool. Virtua Cop 2. You've seen a Virtua Cop in our collection. We actually have one we're working on right now. It looks like the seller's including a second gun for it. Maybe that's a little bit of a trick. Maybe presumably they've plugged it in and gun 2 still wasn't working. but it's got the right monitor, it's in the right cabinet. These are fun games. We'll see how it goes. It's a little rough, but pretty cool. Another pub darts. Both of these Shelties, look pretty nice. I could see them selling pretty high. You don't have a lot of broken tips or anything in them. I bet they're generally working. So, looks nice. I bet you can see a $500 or $600 for each, maybe more. Oh my gosh, Defender Stargate turned into a double dribble. Nub joysticks, because they probably couldn't get them mounted right. And if you can't probably hear it, but it's just crunch, 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 crunch. It's awful. Max Force in the right cabinet. Invasion of the Abductors in a Max Force cabinet, so wrong cabinet. Lots of kind of gun games. An NBC and a Dynamo cut corner, 19-inch monitor. The 19-inch monitor looks pretty nice, but this is definitely not how you'd ever want to present MVC. 19-inch monitor is no good. You want the 25-inch Dynamo instead. Area 51, Site 4, dedicated, not turning on. Apparently win tickets. I don't know how that would work, but it does say win tickets. Goldenseal Live pedestal. Haven't seen it on. There's no monitor attached. These were selling pretty well for a while, but recently the Incredible Technologies, IT, the manufacturers, have dropped the prices on new ones to try to get people into their subscription service, the like software as a service model they released. So the prices of these have been going down. So this is really weird. It's a fighting mania that uses different real fighting game characters like Fist of the North Star, but you punch the sensors. I actually saw it up earlier, so it'll kick like this and you punch it to try to do it. It seems like a recipe for disaster at free play, but it is kind of cool. And it's a real monitor in there and everything. So definitely unique, definitely pretty neat for like a personal collection if you want something that no one else has, or very few. An SVC Chaos and a converted Gauntlet Dark Legacy, or that's the Legends actually, with a rough monitor. Presumably, one of our employees was saying that he thinks he saw this exact in a mall in Austin a while ago, so maybe that's where it came from. I've never seen a conversion like that either. Here we go, National Entertainment Network, Thomas Wave Cabinet, Extreme Hunting. You've seen us buy a lot of these, given that they're generally well taken care of, but this one's got kind of a toasty burn, so we'll have to wait to see if it turns on and how noticeable that is. A Marvel Superheroes kind of conversion, looks nice. I mean, scratch that. The wood over here is really rough, but the conversion work was pretty good, I guess. Oh, this is one of the ones that we wanted to point out, a Tekken Tag. So we make fun a lot about how no one ever figured out what the right Tekken Tag control panel was. A lot of people played on like a 6-button where this button was deleted and tag was right here. The factory manual really wanted you to have a thumb tag, and the dedicated versions that Namco did have come out of factories did have the thumb tag. But most people played with the tag right there. And then you have ridiculousness like this. So this is first player. You'll notice that one, the buttons are way too low. They're diagonal for you. The tag is just kind of out there floating, but look how far apart kick. The two kicks are much further apart than the two punches. And then this, you can just see, this was definitely someone with just a drill installing the holes, because the spacing's wrong on each of them. It's random. And then there you go, another tag. So, Tekken Tag is bizarre. Wow, a Gauntlet Dark Legacy turned into a Carnival King. Yikes. That's a great, so Dark Legacy and Gauntlet Legends, those are great games. We have them out at Richardson and Arlington, I believe, right now, and I can't believe that got converted like that. Dedicated Extreme Hunting 2, looks good. Monitor doesn't have that much burn, so if it turns on, maybe a good monitor purchase. House of the Dead 3. The prices on these have been going down quite a bit. You'll see them selling in like the $300 to $500 range. It uses the Chihiro motherboard, which generally isn't super reliable. Live 2009, I was kind of interested in this when I saw it. It's got a real tube, looks like a flat tube, and then an LCD maybe up top. I was gonna see if it booted up. It hasn't booted, but it looks like it's trying to, so we might come back to that. Goldenseal Live has been hacked recently a little bit, so that it's a little bit, the original 2009 releases, because this is technically, I think, their 20th anniversary release. Yeah, it is. So you can see the 20th anniversary language. They added a ton of cool features there that some people are asking for, and look, it's about to boot up, I think. So that could be one of the gems of the auction. We'll see. You'll hear the auctioneers call out, you know, dollar bill acceptor still in the DBA. So we'll see. A Rush 2049. Chris Delvin, Free Play, played this yesterday. Only First Gear works, and the The wheel pot is not doing a very good job, so it's just not responding. What's really funny is when the pot is broken like that, you'll often see it acting kind of as a switch, like left or right. So he was playing earlier and it would only turn left or only turn right and not go straight. A Mad Dog 2 and a Dynamo slip. So yeah, these were Laserdisc video type games or even CD videos at some point. And they're kind of neat for like, yeah, you can see it's a CD-ROM system here. Neat for nostalgia purposes, but not exactly a great game. And this one's not in the best shape and not in the right cabinet. MK4 in the wrong cabinet. I know it's a Primal Rage or something. Not good. And of course, this is actually the correct control panel, but Mortal Kombat got kind of crazy. Spaced out a lot with a runway down there. They really wanted to do it. Johnny Nero Action Hero. Kind of a good theming, but terrible game. Jurassic Park 3, we've seen some crazy prices on this. Haven't seen it turn on. One of these Taiwanese cabs. We saw one of these in the last auction. I assume it's the same one. It said, this one looks like it says needs board, so maybe the person bought it, took the board out, and brought the, the candy cab back. All right, then we've got the pedestal. I was playing Discs of Tron on this pedestal yesterday. It's kind of a weird setup. I haven't heard any sound either. A working Zaxxon, so Zaxxon's a really cool game, but not really played by your normal mass population. This one is, controls are adequate. Feels okay, we'll see. Given how few good retro games are in this auction, you can see the Zaxxon maybe hitting $500 or $600, which would have been unheard of before. Arcade Legends, one of the licensed multicades. People feel a little bit better normally about those. Simpsons, washed out monitor, right joysticks, right cabinet, but you can see someone did a control panel overlay on it and it didn't work out so well. Probably gonna sell more than it should, but there's kind of a lack. Marvel Superheroes, Dynamo. You can see though, it's a 25-inch monitor Dynamo that then they installed a 19-inch in. Probably just because that's what they had on hand. Sega Outrun with a dead monitor. You can hear the game playing in the back, not bad. We'll see how that pricing goes. We have an Outrun now at Free Play Denton that we rebuilt that is considered one of the best in the country. Big Buck Pro open season. You know, I generally like the Big Buck Pro, the first gens, so to put out, and we generally try to put one or two out, those style gun games in each location, so I guess we'll see, maybe, probably not. Broken Space Invaders still has the monitor though, so that's cool. Oh, and it's dirty. A multicade without focus. Now, you'll sometimes hear me talk about like a grumpiness towards multicades in other arcades. And that's often because not only is it a bad emulation, you'll often see it presented in this style with, you know, a blurry, fuzzy monitor. You've got streaking on the colors. Of course, in the multicade boards, the sounds are all weird and wrong. So that's one of the reasons I complain about it so much. Capcom Bowling and what, a super pack? Yeah, I don't know. It'll probably sell for $100. One of those 6-in-1 multicades, but the selection's good. It's a rough multicade. It's got like the Tekken Player 1, Player 2 still. We talked about this yesterday. A nice looking pole position with a good monitor. Pole position has its own issues on free play, so we'll see. This is kind of an interesting for a home buyer. It's playing a Simpsons board, and they put the Simpsons bowling artwork on it with a regular Simpsons beat 'em up marquee. And they have a 6-button control layout, so easy emulation in there, easy to install some stuff. So maybe you'll see that go for something. One of these little baby cabs we've seen showing up lately with a real tube in there. That's cool. Sky Soldiers is a cool game. We have it in the collection. Probably not something we need more. Kind of a middle-level shmup before the bullet hells started to take over in the 90s. Multicade. Another multicade with focus issues, so not too surprising. Now this is really fun for me. So this is a mispack, and you can see that it has a sync problem, but the sync problem might be board issue, and we're gonna try to pick this up. I don't know if we can. It's playing ultra slow-mo. It's about to start. I doubt we'll be able to pick it up, but if you hear in the background, you can hear the sound slowly going and the back slowly moving. So it's like the opposite of a speed up chip. Probably just a broken board. And you can see we just lost. Oh, it's just went to reset just then. Mispack, bad colors. Let's see, do we have all of our colors? It's unclear. It's in rough shape. You know, joystick feels good. I guess we'll see. 60-1 miss pack, 60-1 20-year reunion. Another one of those Pac-Man arcade parties. They're actually kind of cool releases, but I feel like we've seen that exact same one, or at least maybe the one next to it, the 25th, in the last few auctions. Probably find home use things, so you're getting a real licensed product, but not what Free Play does. Over here, we've got a miss pack Cabaret. I played this yesterday. It seemed pretty nice. Seemed pretty solid. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that 25th, either the same person has a lot of 25ths, or we've seen that in the last 2 or 3 auctions. Then we've got the Midway Cocktails. We've got a miss pack. Seems to be working pretty well. And I mean, these are great for home use. A lot of people have said that this is the way they remember playing miss pack, because you had them in Pizza Huts and everything. You've got a regular pack here, same kind of, same Midway style cocktail. Pac-Man, of course, not half the game miss pack is, but it's certainly not in like a retail setting. And this, I heard a lot of people talking about it, but this is gonna go high. It's a real 20-year reunion, the 20th cocktail with the bigger screen, the bigger control area and everything. Has Galileo miss pack, and I think that hidden Pac-Man in there. So you've heard a lot of people talk about this one, so I bet this one might go more than $1,000. I guess we'll see. Oh, we've got another phone booth here. This one's older than the last one. It's kind of cool because it's got this like exhaust fan. It's got the old style telephone. I think I would have preferred the last one because it was a little bit more 80s, but I think we might see more telephone booths showing up since that last one sold for like $500 or $600, and I was hoping to get it for like $100. Yeah, you got your candy and your redemption in front of the grocery store type stuff. This is the gambling machine I talked about in that press release where I just zeroed out the credits. Anyways, this was the one where I kept playing and I kept going for the double up thing, and I lost like 30 or 40, 50 times in a row. Crazy. Oh, here's some trash. Nice little Asteroids arcade one-up. You can see it's playing Tempest right now. In its defense, Tempest, though it's still looking terrible, looks better than Asteroids on this one. And how terrible is it they put Major having a lunar lander in one of these arcade one-ups. No, I played it yesterday and it was just as bad as I remember. This is not a real spinner at all. It's just awful. Lucky Egg. If we didn't have one in the collection, you might see me go for it. We have the larger, rarer, the Hanna-Barbera one. Really cool vending machines that I'm not going to buy. These were the old style that you'd see at like kind of like lower end grocery stores where they'd have the chips or candy or whatever out in the front, and then you actually had to open it up to get the drinks because it's just a refrigerator. You know, that gives me a little bit nostalgic. We don't have a good use for it. All right, we'll go through some of the parts. We got, stools, we got some aid-liners and some countertop gambling machines. Change machine with an old DVA that's kind of valueless at this point. CD-based jukebox, which no one really, if you talk to the operators they all still try to go for those 45 jukeboxes or like the internet-connected crappy ones, because the CD jukeboxes were a terrible idea. It was too much choice, right? Each album had 10 to 20 songs, and that the illusion of choice really messed with people. Then we got a ton of monitors. Most of these are big bucks, it looks like. These digital flat monitors. And we got some regulars, I don't know. We have a lot of monitors. This is you can tell this one ran for a long time, but is in otherwise pretty good shape. MVC1, CPS2 board, allegedly working original Rampage, allegedly working Soul Calibur. Of course, it's a lot easier to write working than to actually have it working, so you should never take that as true. Though, in their defense, often we have found them to be working, even if they're not labeled working. You've got all the kiddie rides at front. And there's like a whole subgroup of collectors that love these kiddie rides. They're not for us, right? They're not free play games at all. But there are people that love them, and I heard a lot of people talking about there's the little red Porsche up there. Porsche. People, apparently that one could go kind of high. I guess we'll see. These are all National Entertainment Network, of course, the big amusement operator located here that has Walmart and other locations. I really like it when National Entertainment Music sells their arcade games, but that is what it is. Hey, she just won $5,000. Maybe I'm just bad at gambling games. All right, then we got a lot of cool claw games. We can kind of blaze through them. Some of these are going to sell relatively high. You've got the double-sided clean sweep. That's a valuable claw game. Still earning. These kind of generics. The candy cranes are always popular. These terrible, I actually wanted to buy one of these one time because they don't use power, right? And you play pinball with a bouncy ball. I've been tempted before. The terrible honeybee game where you catch the honeybees and throw it in there, but it all feels luck. And redemption isn't normally what us. This was kind of cool. Go bananas, but the darn thing got cracked at the top. Kind of sad. Coin pushers. These things always sell for an absurd amount of money. And these things came out of somewhere pretty serious because not only do they have the ultra reinforced. Oh, that one's glass, but that one's plexi. So this is, but they put the cage on them to make sure no one's gonna break them and take all those $10 worth of quarters. Apparently Capcom somethings. That's weird. I don't know why it says Capcom. Maybe they're Capcom little redemption things. A better looking change machine. Mini dunks, guys. This thing is awesome. Like, if I was in a whole different industry, mini dunks would be mine. Another newer clean sweep, Rockin' Bull. This one's kind of on the way out. Wheel deal, I've told the story of this before. I bought 2 wheel deals at an auction because I couldn't believe how cheap they were, and then it turns out that is just how much they're worth. We could not get rid of them at all. Drill-O-Matics, Smokin' Token, those are cool. The round and round, this, if it works, you might see me do something really stupid. No, you can see that there's errors on it. Original candy crane, popular. These newer clean sweeps again. The Skittle Ball, where you launch and you shoot. I mean, they're pretty cool, I guess. The helicopter ticket game. And what you'll notice here is by the time these redemption games make it to auction, they're generally pretty bad because a good earning redemption game, you won't often see it at auction because they, if it's like a Dave & Buster's game or like a national chain kind of game, they'll sell it to kind of that mid-market family entertainment arcade, and then that family entertainment arcade will sell it to like one of the nickelcades, and then the nickelcades will finally get rid of something, and by that point, they're just ruined. Spin Dr. Frog Song, kitty gambling, lots of cool kitty gambling. This slam dunk that I couldn't get to shoot, that's jammed now. Something called Coins that looks like prize tree with these prizes that are worth something like 11 cents. But here, I guess at the auction, there's just a bunch at the bottom if you want to grab them because they popped off while it wasn't being moved. Tortoise and Hare. This is like DDR but racing. So kind of cool. I don't know really what arcade would ever put it out. Another claw game. Oh, one of these cool ones. Looks like the travel on it was a little rough. Saw those in the late 90s, I guess. Early 2000s, everyone loved them. Just kind of stop the clock game. A better soccer shooter to win a bouncy ball. Looks cool, I guess. Cut the cheese. Yikes, it's like a mouse on a toilet. And guys, you might notice we're spending a lot of time at the redemption stuff. It is a pretty soft auction, so we're just having fun checking stuff out. Wonder Wheel. Oh, a true old school 8-liner over here. That's kind of cool. Someone was supposed to pick it up, I guess, yesterday, so it looks like they did it. They made it. Glow machine, those were always cool to lose money and get cheap glow stuff. Another old style 8-liner. Looks like there's a real monitor in it. Not that I think we will ever buy it. Change machines, these will probably go low, unfortunately. Which, I really love change machines. Like, that really brings me back. And of course, at our arcades, we don't have them. Ticket eater. So yeah, this is like, my guess would be we've got like a lower end operator kind of putting it in, because these ticket eaters normally sell pretty well if they're even mildly working. All right, looks like we got a nice clean Strange Science. That Ninja Turtles we talked about yesterday, that it's playing fine. This Danica Patrick pinball, which I honestly don't know the story of. Is it like a GoDaddy? I mean, it's signed by Danica Patrick. It's got a spinner. It's a Gottlieb. What is this? I'll have to look it up. Is it like a Andretti custom for Danica Patrick? That's what it kind of looks like. Because look, you can tell that this was like an Andretti pinball, and then they just put like poorly printed photos of Danica Patrick on it. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it was custom for someone. I don't know. We're not gonna buy that. Starship Troopers looks cool. I like Starship Troopers. Kind of a late model. Didn't get very much love when it first came out, but kind of just like the movie did, as everything kind of got revisited like Starship Troopers, and people understood, because you know Starship Troopers, the story is a lot of the marketing made it look like an action movie, but it was kind of like a satire of action. It's become more popular. These big rig trucks, gosh, these are the nicest looking I've ever seen in an auction. I once bought one on accident for $1, just trying to speed the auction along, and sold it for $40, but I think the transport costs alone ensured that I lost some money on the deal. All right, so now we're gonna finish off the arcades, do a quick walkthrough. We've got a ton of pedestals here for Goldenseal. I don't know if these are gonna sell at all. I don't really know. I don't know how much the wood is worth, but there's not a lot going on with those. Another Ice Redemption game, jukebox style. Jeez, you know it's soft when they've got the redemption stuff over here. Funny Ball, guys. My favorite story about Funny Ball, I bought one at auction one time because I actually kind of remember liking it. I remember not being good at it, so I was trying to buy one to learn. And we opened it up, and there was something like more than 1,000, but like bags of 100 bouncy balls in the back. And it was just an operator that had been just refilling them there. We ended up selling the bouncy balls for like 3 times or 4 times what I bought the Funny Ball for on eBay. A Dino spin, yeah, redemption. Another sharpshooter with, I don't even know, what is this cabinet? Under Fire? I don't even know what it was converted from, so you know it's obscure and probably not. A Zero Gunner. A Steel Gunner, these are pretty cool. Yeah, you got the full lateral motion. It's so rough though, it's probably been sitting in a garage or a barn for a while. Time Crisis 3, yesterday this had a broken marquee, it looks like they got rid of it. Still has the Namco guns, though they look terrible. But those Namco guns are rare at this point, so I guess we'll see. A Time Crisis 3 with the marquee, but it's got those monster screens. I guess we'll see how they turn on. I feel like this one might have been at the last auction. Time Crisis 4, a little bit more rare for the auctions, but of course it's not clean at all. It's in very rough shape. House of the Dead 4, when they switched to like the Uzis. Are these like the knockoff Uzis? I think they are. Haven't seen it on, probably not for us. Another T2, wow, it's 3 T2s, how's that happening? All right, here we go, like a Romstar sidearms. And a weird conversion cabinet. You can see there wasn't a lot of art going into this control panel as the buttons are everywhere, but we can fix that if we want it. I don't know, I mean, it's blank, so I couldn't know. Carnival with no guns. The guns were probably worth more than the game at that point, so they just took the guns off that. Side-by-side DDRs. This is kind of interesting, right? So we've got half of the pads, or collectively one pad. Is this the one-player DDR? I don't really know. Y'all be happy to know we're overstocked on DDR right now, and I do believe before the end of the year you'll see one at a free play, so that's interesting. A different grid conversion. This one to Area 51. The monitor looks okay. Poor grid though, right? Hammerhead redemption they just threw in here. What is this? I don't know what this is. I don't know. Some sort of blade game? Like, I guess you, oh, I see. Look at this, guys. Seen better days. But I guess there's a sensor and you fight on the screen. It's a Mazan flash of the blade, I guess. That was weird. Cool. Cruising World conversion full size, yeah. Well, it's a little big, but overall fine. More redemption. Wow, they really had it. Another one of those B games, but it's I think that's the other version, the knocker off. I don't see the honey pot anymore. Oh, look at this, guys. The honey, it's not, the honey pot is broken. It's just not there anymore. So now it's really hard, since that's how you get your points. Whoa, this is clearly from the Funny Ball people, but it's called Steer Crazy. Do you think it controls? I might buy this. Steer Crazy 2? I don't know. I don't have any business buying it, but I gotta buy something. Another one of those wheel deal style called Gold Zone. Oh man, we are redemptioned out. Coin pusher card game. So this is really cool. This is one of Josh's games that he's been asking about for a long time that I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, you take photos, you go to arena and battle. One side's even working. Gosh, she's gonna talk me into buying this. But this is what's really cool. It moves laterally, but it also moves everywhere. So you can really do it. But yeah, it's like an arena battle game. Really cool. Interesting to see it on. Gunman Wars is what it's called. Did we see one in our auction? I don't know. Crazy Taxi, or no, geez, not Crazy. Smashing Drive, which everyone always calls the sequel to Crazy Taxi, but it's not at all. I do think though, if you have two side-by-side working, it's actually kind of a fun racing game. Because you see you got like the ridiculous blades where you're just cutting through stuff and like that. I don't know. Not really something that we'd probably put out, but I don't know. Whoa. You know this operator really has figured out life. We do not give refunds on any games. So that's a computer monitor cruising next to it. Interesting like wood blocks, what are these for? I don't know. I guess they broke the brackets and we're using them. A Sega Rally that's not booting, looks super haggard. Arctic Thunder, bad seat. Battle Gear 2 looks okay. Yeah, got like an extra seat. It looks okay. Another Arctic Thunder, some driving games that aren't booting up. A Rush 2049 that says like new. It's not really like new, but it looks okay. Poor Hydro Thunder that got broke. Maybe a parts buy, who knows. Cruisin' Exotica, which Chris Delp either loves or hates. I can't actually tell his real opinion on this game. I think it's fine, whatever. Stand-up Hydro Thunder. We've kind of backed away from ever doing those stand-up. You gotta love Leave On at Night, the operator note there. So these are all clearly from kind of a lower end operator. Not that I'm like trying to insult the operator, but it's good to know the background of these games. The Vapor Tracks, we've seen I've only seen them in auctions. I've never seen them in real life, so that says something. A Nicktoons Racer, not exactly a free play game. California Speed I talked about, I kind of like it. It's like a hybrid. It's like cruising / Daytona, but not really as good as either, but still enjoyable. Two Broken Hydro Thunders. Ooh, it's gonna take a long time to get through this lot. A Cruising Exotic, it looks like it's gonna boot once you calibrate the controls. These Fury, like F1 kart racing games that one of them's not turning on. Cruising Exotic, a Fast and Furious Drift. Y'all know my opinions on raw thrills normally. I've almost bought one of those one time, but I mean, not only is this one trashed, you can get them pretty cheap in the right location. The Rush 2049. And here's some of these leather covers I was talking about. I've never seen. There's some of them back there on those Hydro Thunders too. Clearly they're a thing. I've never seen them before. Super Bikes, another Raw Thrills release that looks identical to this other Raw Thrills release, Fast and Furious Drift. So, like I was saying, I guess there's some interesting stuff here, guys. I don't know. It's definitely not a 2-truck day. It's probably a 1-truck day. I guess we'll see how prices go. You never know. Occasionally that we saw a couple good parts, and there's some big stuff like those Time Crisis 3s that if they turned on and worked pretty well, maybe we'd consider. Looks like a Getaway Pinball jumped up since we've been there last. Getaway is one of my favorite games. We have a nice one at Arlington. Probably wouldn't buy another, but you never know. We'll check prices. So that's it, guys. We are here in Lewisville, Texas, trying to keep high energy through a kind of a low energy auction. So that's our full walkthrough. Next up, we're gonna start bidding, maybe buy some stuff. Do something like buy the arcade one up and just break it in front of everyone to cause a scene. I don't know, something to entertain myself. But for now, we're signing off. Check the next video. We'll try to buy something.